Comes to garbage, recycling, and composting, do you know what goes where? Whether it's tossing a plastic bag in the recycling bin, or do you do this, mixing in food waste with regular trash? These mistakes, yes, mistakes, can have serious consequences for the environment. Here to tell us more is eco-expert Candace Batista. Great to have you on the show.
So good to be here.
So I think people do this all the time.
Yes.
They make mistakes because we're busy and we're just throwing everything in. What happens when we put the wrong trash in the wrong bin?
So let's say you're throwing a whole bunch of recyclables that are recyclable into the bin, but you're also putting dirty packaging in there, you're putting food, all kinds of other stuff. When it gets to the recycling facility, it has a very high chance that all of that will be discarded and sent to garbage. They don't have the time and they don't have the infrastructure and staff in place to go through every little bit, right? So it's really important, one, to get to know the recycling rules in your area. There's so much information online right now, there's really no excuse. And I always tell people, don't be a wish cycler, where you're standing in front of the garbage bin or the recycling bin and you're looking at this product and you're like, oh, if I put it in here, you're wishing and hoping that on the other end it'll end up in the right place. That does not happen. So we want to keep stuff out of landfill, specifically food. When food ends up in landfill, so if you put it in recycling or garbage and that goes to landfill, it breaks down and it creates methane gas. Methane gas, we know, is much more potent than CO2, and both of those are contributors to global greenhouse gas emissions. So we want to keep food and all that kind of stuff out of the recycling bin.
Okay, so we've come up with a game called Trash Talk. We have 3 bins here. We have garbage, we have recycling, and then we have our organic waste. You have a bunch of items, so I'm going to try and guess which goes where. And I do want to say, and you mentioned this, check online, because in your community, there could be specific rules of what your facilities can deal with when it comes to recycling and compost. So make sure you check out the rules in your local community.
Yes.
Okay, take it away, Candace. What do we got first?
Where does this go?
Okay, I would say recycling.
Correct.
For this, right? Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
So never throw a good mason jar away.
Especially if it has a lid.
Yeah, reuse it as much as you can. But glass is infinitely recyclable. But you've got to make sure that if you are putting it in the recycling bin, that it's clean.
Clean. And like, can I point out, like, squeaky clean? Like, we're not seeing any sauce residue on the top of this, which, like,
so labels are fine. I took that off because I love jars. I have an obsession with glass jars. So yes, but if it's broken, so let's say you have a broken wine glass, which bin do you think it goes into?
I'm gonna guess it's not recycling.
It's not recycling, it's garbage.
Really?
So wine glasses they're made from a different, they melt at a different melting point. They break down at a different melting point, so they actually can't go into the recycling bins. You gotta wrap those up and put those right into the garbage.
Well, and like you said, there's Google. There's a great resource.
Exactly.
So make sure you're going online.
Exactly. Okay, batteries.
Okay, batteries.
Where do those go?
I feel like this is like a special phone call to somebody to pick up my batteries.
She's doing really well.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a trick question. It doesn't go into any bin. Batteries are considered household hazardous waste, so you either need to find drop-off locations in your community or community environment days. A lot of big cities across Toronto hold these days where you're able to bring this kind of waste. So that would include things like paint, cleaning products, batteries, all that kind of stuff.
Often, I feel like fire departments often have like the drop-off.
Check in your area for sure. Okay, soiled paper towel. Which bin does this go into?
I don't want to know what this is soiled with, but I'm going to put it in the organic waste?
Correct.
Yes.
But there is one caveat.
Oh, no.
If you've cleaned with toxic chemicals, it's advisable not to put it into the compost bin. Because when you think about what that's becoming soil that's then going to be used. So as compost breaks down, it becomes this amazing black gold, and we don't want it filled with toxic chemicals. So if you're using bleach and you're cleaning your home with ammonia and those kinds of things, that unfortunately is going to go into the garbage. And paper towel cannot be recycled, whether it's soiled or not. It can't go into the recycling bin.
And I want to throw it out there. Paper towel is a huge contributor to trees getting cut down. And so if you can avoid using paper towel and use a reusable
Thank you for saying that. I get in trouble.
No,
but yes,
I get it.
Deforestation, hello.
We buy paper towel as well when we have to, but if you can use a reusable, it's a great option.
100%. Okay, next we have compostable or biodegradable plastic products. I mean, plastic bags, plastic cups.
My inclination would be to put this in the compost because you're saying it's compostable.
So here's where things get really, really interesting. A lot of the times we're spending more money on these products because they're biodegradable or compostable. However, most facilities can't take these kinds of items because they need specific environments to break down. So if you have a backyard compost bin, it's possible that a product like this could go in there. This one can't. It literally tells you right right on here that it's going into a specific facility, right?
It does.
It does. So you're spending more money on these, and then you get them home, you use them, and then you don't know what to do with them at the end of it. So they end up going, unfortunately, in the garbage. So they need a certain environment, certain temperature, and certain amount of time to break down. So this could take between 2 months and 5 years to break down, depending on the item.
Unbelievable. We have to go, Candace, but real quick, I'm going to say that this goes in the garbage.
It does, unfortunately. And a quick rule of thumb, we use about 1.5 billion of those every single year in Canada. So honestly, carry a reusable. Even a jug like this will work. And a quick rule of thumb is if you're putting something in a bin and it's made of lots of different kinds of materials, like a chip bag or a coffee cup, which is paper and plastic, typically things that are mixed materials can't go in the recycling bin.
Okay, Candace, thank you so much.
Thanks so
I
much.
think. Honestly, great to have you on. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.